afternoon, people. We are on the sidewalk for another edition of Sidewalk Conversations. And today, we have my brother, my friend, the one who has pushed me in my career as a spoken word artist, a vlogger, and... Oh, who that is? Oh, my neighbor. Oh, and being a comedian at that too. You track? I would say his government name, but he doesn't like the full government. So, we're just going to cut it and keep it short at the man, Fred James.
Fred James, wow. Okay, cool.
We'll work
with it. No problem.
Welcome to the sidewalk.
Yeah, I've been meaning to come, you know. I've been lapsing on this thing.
Well, everybody done come through. You kind of saved the best for nearly last. And
Snap, son.
Yeah, so it's been a minute.
Vibes.
It's been a minute. I know the last time we spoke was when you were somewhere. You're over here on my vacation. And you say, yo, you're home. I'm like, yeah, I'm home. So you pull up.
Okay.
The bed was right there.
I'm still waiting for my pepper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm going to talk to mommy about that because I'm me in charge of the yard.
You say you could grow one for me. You say, I'm not going to grow one for you. Remember that line?
Anybody who know me right, know me love outside work. Maybe in the yard, I dig up, or me need to dig up for goldine, put soil all around the yard, but now catch me out here, I plant nothing for it. Talk to goldine and goldine start out that. So talk to the gangster about that, not me.
Alright, boss.
If you want a yard.
No, me afraid, you know. No, I'm not afraid.
You can't afraid the gangster. Aziz!
Me afraid.
Fred say he afraid the gangster.
Boss, me afraid. I'm not gonna lie. Something with the eyes, man. Sometimes I'm like, yo.
How you go afraid for me, mommy, and Aziz and she are like the best of friends like this? You see something?
And that's what I want. Vaccine.
Yeah, Aziz end up and message me like, yo, guess who next to me? Look. I was like, whoa. I was like, cool. But really, today we are here to talk about your involvement and your contribution towards the arts in that way. Because I don't know if much persons know that you are heavily involved in the arts. We're going from, let's say, poetry in the pub, coming up to present with just
park.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that too. Poetry in the Park, Shoreline, Ink Project. We even gonna take it back to Firebar, Full Moon. We even gonna talk about MJ's event where we used to roll through that, like a whole bunch of spots, man.
Okay.
So first thing is, what got you into the creative or performing arts?
Girls. Straight up. You laugh. No, see.
Wait a minute, me and your brother ain't never tell me this.
No.
Never.
That's alright. Eager song corny, but it was girls. Like, man used to just write poetry, forget y'all. Like, serious songs.
And you were?
Serious. It worked now and then when it needed to, when it mattered most, put some feels into it. But after that, I think it was really expressions, poetry in the pub. Zara, Lanisa, the August Rush team. Yeah. I went out one night. I didn't even know they did that in Antigua. The whole spoken word, performing, open mic vibes. I didn't know. I went out and, boss, people make me feel at home. Now, like,
I know that feeling.
Yeah, I went up and I read something. I used to read from my phone a lot back then too.
Yeah.
Went up, and I was scared as shit. Scared. Heart pounding, remember reading and, voice a shake, hand a shake, and in front of people. And I think I remember Zara being the one. I think it was Zara or Lisa. Can't remember. I think it was Zara being the one saying, "Don't worry, we've all been there. Let him feel welcome, guys." So everyone kind of cheer you on. Yeah. So doing that. I think it was twice a week then.
Yeah, it was twice. It was twice a month on a Tuesday.
Yeah, on a Tuesday.
Twice a month on a Tuesday.
Yeah. And doing that was like the weekly thing, man. That was the place to go to just get it out.
Yeah, it was therapeutic in a way we could vent and let off the steam in that way. And for those of you who remember, Fred used to be the man that bring the speaker and the microphone back then.
Funny enough, that was years later.
Yeah.
Years later. So having just going, and then they were like, I think I spoke to Lanisa once, and she was like, you know, they don't have the normal setup. And I was like, yo, I got a PA system. Yeah, I never bring that. And since then, it was just like, yeah, just tell me when I'm bringing it, because you know it was good. Just getting people to come out, and I didn't care. Let me do my part. Even if I wasn't reading anything, I was gonna show up to make sure everyone else was able to enjoy themselves.
See. So
the speaker, man.
So I'm gonna drop some gems that I don't think much persons know at home. So I'm gonna drop these gems and hoping that you can highlight and fill them in. So you speak about performing, but persons may not know that you are a writer and you lay claim to that more than performing.
Yeah.
So which one do you enjoy the most, writing or performing?
Performing more, because you get that reaction. You see what others feel, how others feel about your work. I love that performing aspect, but truly I prefer not to be in the
cause me weird, cause I know you like to hide behind the writing stuff. Yeah. And be like, yo, read this. I be like, they fire when you go perform it. Me don't know when.
Glad you say you know done. I don't think any of my pieces are complete. I used to have a blog back in the day called, it's probably still up now, A Final Draft. But all of them still in draft mode to me. It's just the one I'm willing to put out there, you know what I'm saying? So the writing part was number one, and is still number one. I mean, when we used to go out to expressions, the reason I used to read from my phone a lot is because you guys would come out and just perform off the top, and I'm like, yo, you can't do that, you know, because I don't sit down and learn these things. I sit down and just write, like, this is how I feel right now, put it out, and I go out there and I just read. But now I'm like, boy, I like what Tittle's doing, I like what Aziz is doing, I like what Glenn is doing, I like what Zara's doing. I like how they're able to just take all the emotion and just. And I know even with you, sometimes we talk about it like, when you learn a piece, and then you bust. Nobody's supposed to know your boss. They don't know what's written on the paper. They don't know what you were supposed to say.
Facts.
So just act. Just roll with all that. And I used to do that a lot too.
It's more a form of ad-libbing to a sense. More a form of ad-lib. I remember there was a time where I was speaking to my cousin Jeffrey about it, and I don't remember the piece, but when we were at expressions, it would be yourself, me, and Glenn, and we would go and we would shell down the night, and there was this one night you went up, and I was on, where was I? I was sitting between the little pathway where you can sit down and your back will be facing towards Fred's Australian. So now, funny thing right here, Fred's Australian, get it right there, stop saying.
Yeah, tell them I sent you.
So you did a piece, I don't remember what the piece was, but you killed it. I'm like, who is this guy? And you weren't reading from your phone. I can tell you that you weren't reading from your phone. And I was like, no man, like this man bad. So I spoke to my cousin Jeffrey, but he's like, oh, Fred. He's like, he part of the spelling ink and all that. I was like, so if Fred part of the spelling ink and you got Mikhail and Glorine, like, and Fred so badass, why Fred just don't go solo like Justin Timberlake? And my cousin look at me and smile. He like, you know what happened? Fred is too loyal. I was like, oh. It makes sense. So I was like, interesting.
It's funny, and it's not even a loyal thing, because Glorine was the one that, because we did a book, back in 2016, our first book. We did Ashes, A Broken Inception. And Glorian was the one who told me and Mikhail, yo, y'all need to get serious. Y'all got talent. You can do this. You know what I'm saying? And we said, yo, we're only doing it if you're with us. And because of her, Spilling started. Yeah. So there's no way I'm going to ever say, you know, that's how I came about. You know what I'm saying? The whole writing thing, because only then it's like, oh, you got a published book now. Oh, you're feeling yourself. No, just Spilling. That was where Spilling started to me. Yeah. When we decided, okay, you know what? Let's do it together. We wrote the book. We published the book. We released the book. Everything. Yeah. From then it's just like, boom. That's my family.
So if it wasn't for Glory, like you would have been out there like that. So Glory was basically like the Timbaland to your Justin Timberlake. You've been the Justin Timberlake.
Yeah. Because we say she's the mother of the group, you know. Yeah. All the time. She's the mother of the group. She keeps us in line. So, you know, you've been around us. If we didn't have Glory, nothing would get done. True. Because of bare jokes. Bare jokes. Sit down and chat things.
Especially in the meetings and all them kind of stuff there. Yeah.
Whole heap of segue.
So now, seeing that we're speaking about spilling ink and poetry in the pub and all that kind of stuff, how would you say the growth of yourself, Mikhail, and Glorine from back then up until present? Because a lot has happened, like from since, let's call it 2010.
I would say after the book, the first book, we got so much support. Because the book was written kind of just to show what we're capable of doing. Just to show what we can do. And after all the support we got from people, you know, asking for a sequel to the book, asking for another book, it seemed like, okay, this is kind of serious. So we sat down, and that's when we kind of had to decide what is Spilling, who are we, you know, what are we about? And everyone was of the same mindset of being able to push other persons. Yeah. So that's why Spilling is a group that promotes arts in Antigua, whether it's literary, poetry, visual, dance, anything to do with art. That's what we want to push. And after that, we decided to do ink project, the first ink project. And I don't know, man. It became one of those things where it started to feel like work, though. Yeah. You know, not like work, like it's good to put in the work to get things done, but it felt more like a job, and you don't want the thing that you love to feel like a job. Yeah. And that kind of started adding, because we had so many ideas. Like we had a timeline of things that we wanted to do. You know, we ended up doing the ink project. We released the second book. We had all these different plans, but we ended up having to take a hiatus because we really felt like, yo, this is work. Yeah. And during the time of the hiatus, Glorine got a job in the States where she used to work previously. So she left. Yeah. So it was just myself and Mikhail. You know, I mean, who's gonna watch us? So
money gone away. House open, everything.
Everybody, you know, house burned down. So
come through.
I think we were on hiatus for maybe a good 2 years. Yeah. 2 years just doing absolutely nothing but maybe showing up to expressions. Yeah. Then that hiatus is what I think caused the group to just go their separate ways, and a lot of persons kind of outgrew the roles that they previously had. And you know, Mickey and I are still friends up to this day. No matter what, right? We're still friends. We used to talk, but back then we used to talk every single day. Mickey would swear to it like, the only person I talk to every day is Fred. Not even my mommy I talk to every day, you know. And that was just a thing. But then the hiatus, like, not necessarily lose touch, but lose that touch in terms of the Spilling. and only until Expressions ended. R.I.P. to Expressions.
Yeah, that was bittersweet. That was really bittersweet because for those of you who don't know what Expressions is, that's where, that's where most of the talent you see for today, myself, Fred, Aziz, Glenn, Kimalisa, Fayola, Kadeem,
oh man,
MJ,
oh man,
can go on and on, Ralph.
Everyone I've ever met that has said, they've performed it.
Yes, yeah.
They gotta be like fresh off the block.
Yeah, and that's home for us. That is legit home. So Lenisa and Zara, big up yourself. Anyway, the August Rush production, like that. So you speak about spilling ink and so forth, and I remember when we were working on my project, and we were in front of Kenny's house in Clare Hall the Sunday. I never forgot it. And persons here, Fred talking about ink project and poetry in the park and so forth. I had the experience of witnessing that happening firsthand because I remember we were outside and just as how we're like this, you on the left and I'm on the right, you said, yo, I have an idea that I want to do. And I'm like, what is it? And you said, you want to bring back poetry but with meaning. And I'm like, how are you going to do it? You're like, it's not going to be like what we had at Expressions. It's going to be different and it's going to be in the park setting. I was like, I see it. And I said, like, whatever you need, I am there. And you'd be like, cool. I was like, dead ass, I am there. So you'd be like, no problem. And to see it actually being built out, it's an amazing thing. Like, really an amazing thing. We saw a lot of spoken word artists, like young spoken word artists, and also the musicians came out. Like, we have never seen so many musicians show up at a spoken word event, but it's more so catered towards creatives in general. Because when you think of poetry in the park, you think of music and you think of spoken word, but more so you think you're gonna get spoken word artists more so than musicians. When that came about, how did you feel in terms of embracing the other creatives like that? How did you feel?
Well, I think, well, before that, you were actually the first person I told that idea to, you know. Yeah. So it's only afterwards I even brought it to like Mikhail and stuff to let them know, like, yo, this is.
We feel like a special.
Yeah. No, yo, that's the Sunday.
Yeah.
I remember doing the album the Sunday. We were just sitting down. It was just the inspiration of everything, and yeah. So yeah, boy, I miss Expressions, and yeah. Where's someone gonna hear your stuff? You know, we're talking about how we can do the release party.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So that's how kind of Poetry in the Park came about. Well, initially it was called Poetry in the Park, not necessarily because it was just to be poetry. It was supposed to be a space for creatives.
Yeah.
So initially, when I came up with the name, I'd say it's because of the love of poetry. But it doesn't like exclude any of the other arts.
Yeah.
So in my head, it was always a case where you come to the park and you would have the visual art pieces set up because we had all the easels from Ink Project.
Yeah.
So when you walk in, you will see different artists' pieces on display. And we're thinking about doing it every week, but we didn't want to burn out the artists, you know, people not wanting to perform every time, so we decided once a month.
Yeah.
And that was a good time frame to give people enough, you know, inspiration to develop something new and come about, work up the nerves to perform. Yeah, this one is very loud. And
that's the name of them.
And first ever event for Poetry in the Park, boss. I'm telling you, I was like nervous. I said, oh boy, I'm wondering if anybody can show up. Oh man.
Hey.
I remember Aziz coming through and putting down some fire. I remember that. Let's see how that he was very funny. And I remember you were obviously the featured artist for the first ever.
Yeah.
and you had the technical difficulties.
Hey, me make you know something, right? Me make you know something. I'm not gonna say ink project, neither, because it didn't happen to me at ink project. But every time there's a poetry in the park, something go wrong mechanically with my mic.
I never happened to anybody else.
This is always so bad, right? Everybody go perform, mic will work, me and the engineer talk. Like, mic good? Yeah man. The minute me go on, you work? Yeah, you work. Echo, everything good. And when you're like 2 minutes into the piece,
middle of the piece.
if the mic no drop out to the mic stand, if current no come off, it's like, Todd.
Oh man.
It's like, Todd.
That first one. But you know, thank you for that though, because you know you didn't go into diva mode. I'm like, yo, you know, legit just ran with it. But mic cut off, project the voice. People still I still have the recording too. So.
Yeah, somebody showed me the other day. But funny story. Where did you go? It was St. Martin or Anguilla?
St. Martin.
You went to St. Martin?
Lit Fest.
Yeah. And I was on a hustle on a Saturday. And I got home on the job, you know, man's powdering a few, come home, still lit, plan to go to poetry in the park and just sit down and enjoy the night, you know. Enjoy the night. So on my way to poetry in the park, you know, playing some Drake and just enjoying the ride there. So I get there and sure is to be like, so you up next? I was like, excuse me? I was like, Fred ain't here. I'm not really supposed to be performing. I just came to enjoy the night. She's like, who tells you that? I was like, she's like, you'll perform tonight. I was like, who all up next? She's like, Ania's up next. And I was like, put me last. She's like, what? I was like, put me last because I don't want to go up there and then it not really discriminates, but it brings down the person's confidence who's coming after because the bar is set so high.
That's how you think about yourself?
Not just me.
Oh, just say yes.
Not just me, but any artist. Like if you have a big No, but that's just me in general. That's me in general. Like if you have a big artist like who has a lot of respect and good pieces out there like that.
Like Jay Ryan.
No, not myself. More like you or Aziz, you know? But put them at the ending of the show. Okay. It builds that person's confidence because if you go up there, burn down the place on the mic, they be like, right, Ted, when me have me really requisite, I'm gonna make it now after this man done burn down the place.
You know, that bothers me.
I'm just saying, that's how I think.
I think
that's how I think.
It should just be a case where you go up and you should just be able to perform what you feel like performing. Like this is how I feel tonight. This is why, because you know it's the mic is open mic. It's just for you to go up and share. Some persons are way too focused about the reception that other persons are gonna be. Whether they're gonna, no. Go up there and do you. Yeah. You just be authentic. Just go, just read whatever, sing whatever. It doesn't matter. Because remember back in the day at Expressions, what was that guy's name?
Charles? Yeah.
Charles would go up every single time
and just sing the same song.
But it didn't matter. That was his thing.
He had to retire the song. To do anything you want, yeah. Don't play. Yo, that would get money pull up. Zara. Yo,
that's the best.
Hey, that song me get money pull up also now.
Me.
At the yeah. One time for the yeah. Yeah. But
that's what I'm saying. Just go up and just express yourself, man. Just do whatever feels good to you. Do whatever feels right to you. I actually wrote a piece around that, you know. I can't remember right now. But yeah, obviously I wrote a piece surrounding that, and I plan when we open up.
But on the place.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna be. I've written so many things. I've been trying new things in terms of my writing, not for spoken word. I was actually telling the Shirley this just 2 days ago. I haven't written any spoken word pieces in over a year and change. Because I've just been focused on the writing.
Yeah.
Writing, that's all I do. And to add to that, not even a shameless plug, we actually finished the 3rd book in our Ashes series. This is going to be the 3rd and final book. And that's one of the things as well. When the lockdown happened, I was thinking, yeah, I'm gonna use this. Sat down, wrote the book, sent the draft to Mikhail and Glorine, approvals, and we're working on the other bits now.
Good stuff.
Yeah, man.
Good stuff. You cut my story though, but we can't give it.
I'll let you. Yeah, I was trying to.
No, but I'm gonna tell you a story, even though you know about the people at home, you know the story. But
tell them the end of the story.
So
tell them the end of the story.
So sure is the end up and got my request and let me go up last and then burn down the place and do some old pieces for expressions. And after my done, I was like, watch this now. Fred, make me come. I'm in a post to perform. Like me and you had a whole discussion. Every time it's like, Fred, like, me no want to perform tonight. Like, one time I think I had pity for me, like, you don't have to perform tonight.
I did?
Yeah, you had pity. I'm like, no, tonight me perform. And
I think
I got upset because the artists in them were coming, but they weren't performing.
Okay, I know what you're talking
about.
Yeah,
that night I got livid, and
everyone was on, not tonight.
Yeah,
and just like, okay, I guess we're just gonna sing kumbaya.
Not when me come the night with a piece they ride up, burn the fire upon them, and after that,
that's what everybody stopped.
Yeah, after that, they start come week after week. Week after Saturday. The name of the piece was called Come Home.
Come Home. But they say, how does it start?
Oh gosh, at least I remember, but it's inside on the desktop. But you forgot your roots, you forgot your home, you forgot your history. Expressions, poetry in the pub is where it all began. So don't let that ever leave your memory. I remember nights when I heard take a picture of I. Yeah, if y'all know that piece, that Glenn, oh my, that's an iconic piece. But
yo, that gave me chills. Yeah, because I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
I love that piece. That's a good one.
So that was one of them nights. The body didn't perform that piece, but I don't wanna segue off of the whole spilling ink thing, but you mentioned about the whole artwork aspect, and I always wonder how is it that you manage to incorporate art into Poetry in the Park, Shoreline, an ink project, because it's not easy to get in contact with visual artists to say, hey, I want your work being here, there, and still protecting the person's work, because art is very expensive in that regard. So how do you manage to reach out to those creatives, one, and secondly, the fact that you are so consistent on social media in terms of having an active presence and an active following? Because if persons didn't ask me, are you having Poetry in the Park this week? Is there going to be a Shoreline? Like, what's coming of ink project and so forth? And you still have persons engaged at the event and still have an active social media following. Like, how do you manage to get all of that encompassed and done?
The team. So I'm going to answer last first. The team basically decides this is how we run it. Yeah. This is when we need to get our featured artists recorded. This is when we want to release that. We have all our timelines already set. Sharissa handles all the social media. Yeah. Mikhail handles a lot of the graphics that you'd see, and with Mikhail handling the graphics, we also have Calico, Kareem John. He creates all our graphics. Like the Poetry in the Park that you see, the little tree. Kareem Calico did that. The video we do, that's why we have to record the video in a particular time frame. Mikhail does the recordings. We send it off to Calico. He gets it out to us by maybe the Sunday. Then we have Sharissa, we release that on the Tuesday. But we have all the artists. Well, I kind of have an idea of all the artists that I want. Yeah. This month, just like that. So I'd say, okay, Tittle, you're up. I know I'm gonna ask Aziz in June. I know I'm gonna ask Jojo in May. I know I'm gonna ask Marcella this time. And it sometimes coincides with maybe what's happening during that time frame as well. Marcella was actually supposed to be on Poetry in the Park a long time ago, but she was doing her own thing.
I remember
Poetry in the Pub, and I think only until she kind of put that on pause, I was able to kind of like, okay, no.
Yeah. I remember when you spoke to me about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but everything is planned, like pre-planned, long before. Especially in regards to the visual artists. To be honest, a lot of them I only started knowing like that while doing Poetry in the Park. You know, like we did the Ink project back in 2016, but a lot of those persons were the initial people I contacted for the first couple of months.
Yeah.
But when I'd run out of persons, it was good that I was able to meet people and, hey, oh, you do, oh, okay, cool, let me check out your stuff and da da da. I remember when we did Shoreline, we had Callan, and his pieces, we had them like hung up
On the tent,
That was one night I was very, very scared because Shoreline on the beach, breezemen, they go on baitings, and one of Callan's pieces just go whoosh. I was like, oh shit, yo. I was like, oh god. But landed very nicely on its back.
You lucky now you land near the bonfire. Cause they tell you,
and yo, he does his stuff like on wood.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like regular stretched canvas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he does his stuff on actual wood. That was bad. But so, yeah, that's kind of what it works.
So we spoke about, you just mentioned about Shoreline,
Yeah.
talked about Poetry in the Park, and you highlighted about Ink Project a bit, but behind all of these events, persons don't know the hard work it takes to putting on an event. I remember.
Oh, you know.
Yeah, I know, but the persons at home don't know because I remember a Saturday.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand, like, why all these exciting stories always happen on a Saturday. Like, but myself and Andel, we're driving through, it was Powell's. We're driving through Powell's, and we see your Jeep and Mikhail's Jeep in the park. And we decided, like, let's go help out and all them kind of stuff there.
This was in September.
Yeah, it was September. And the amount of work that we had to do in terms of kind of cut down bush and if I set up stage and all them kind of someday. And I was like, me Jesus, that was the beginning of the end in terms of learning what happens, because y'all don't know what happened now. You have to come to the event and set up with chair, table, artwork, sound until get back for the event, like around say 6 before everybody reaches and all them kind of stuff.
Yeah, that make our hours will get cost, because man's hours reach back late, because we're finishing sometimes after 6 and have to go home, wash skin and try come back. And I've heard, yo, I'll start late. But come till 7:30 or something.
But the funny thing that I start late, but they say, yo, he may shell, he may late, and if you do this more often, like, oh, you come and help out.
You see, that's one of the reasons why we had to bring people like you on. Because when we did the first one, we were thinking, yo, we just need to put up the tent.
Yeah, true.
We just need to put up the tent or whatever. I'll start 12 o'clock. Kenny said nope. Kenny said, yeah, I never did stuff before. Please, I can't start early. So we came at 9 o'clock. And even though we got there 9 o'clock in the morning, all the things that we had to do, since it was the first time, we didn't know we needed this, we didn't know we needed that, we needed extra lighting. Kenny was the one to
have to go and buy drinks too.
All these things. Kenny had to like fab some kind of light. I didn't know he was an electrician in his past life, but I learned that day. Mikhail up and down, wanting things to be a particular way. Making sure everyone's doing what they're supposed to do.
And the infamous swing day, Area 51.
Yeah. Oh, the swing.
The swing. Italy?
Boy? I don't think so.
And if go back and check it.
No, but that's
swing day.
Mikhail said he wanted a swing on the tree. He wanted to put up a swing. I said he got permission to put up a swing. He said, no worry with that. Put up a swing. I've never sat on that swing before because I know when to put it on that swing. I do not trust it.
But you know,
worked.
plenty of people come the Area 51 just to take a picture upon the swing.
So yeah, I remember Annie came the night and she said, "Yo, I'm performing on the swing," and I'm like, "You sure, Annie?" She's like, "I'm on the swing." Okay, cool.
See. But before we wrap up, like there's a few questions I wanna ask, like straight up before we go. One would be Ink Project. Explain to the persons about Ink Project that happened. When was Ink Project? Like last year, right?
Last year,
March the 1st.
March 1st?
March 1st. Like
Aziz, you would know.
Me and Aziz talk about it because that's the last time we got to bun down the stage, like really perform and things.
I thought it was because of the whole saving the paintings in the rain.
Oh yeah, we get about that soon. But tell the persons about Ink Project really and truly. And two, people and even our artwork very expensive, and we put ourselves on the line for the visual artists and them, because when they work, they get wet up in the rain that night there, right?
Yeah.
Aziz enough managed to save Antoinette Mason 2 painting. Me get drenched for Creed Nicholas painting. Creed until one painting now.
But no, you're
my string hard. My directly stressed upon that, because you know how big that they be? I mean they lift that up and the nail could dig me and all that someday. Creed I want some please, so hit me up. 2 years now. Well not 2 years, but disconnect too.
Right, dog. No boy. Last year now. A year before.
Oh,
last year. 2020.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm going to try sliding another piece behind another piece of one. But still.
2020 me kind of messed up. So.
Yeah, but Creed start out the thing now. Me beg. Start out the thing. But yeah.
So, Ink Project was supposed to be what we call the culmination of all things spilling ink. You know, like we had plans to do all these different things throughout the year, and Ink Project would have been that kind of like final event that we'd do. It's really supposed to be done at the end of the year, but we always end up doing it. Well, we've done it twice. First time was in April, second time in March. And it is a mashup of all things art. It is visual arts being not only on display, but they're also up for sale. Yeah. We have performances by spoken word artists, dancers, singers, any other musicians that we're able to get. Shout out to Gavin Francis. You know, last year he came to he did like a kind of performance. And even Koya Ziffa.
Yeah.
You know, he had the body art painting last
formerly
year.
known as Logic.
True. And that's something that we wanna continue doing every year. I know a lot of persons already go to like attend Sood. And Sood has like a lot of spoken word artists and singers and stuff like that. But what we wanted to do was to kind of give the visual arts an opportunity to be out there as well, but also including some of the things that we personally do. Yeah. Because I don't even know, like you know, some of us sit down and we're like, yo, what's out there to do? We're gonna give you something. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, as much as COVID is trying to stop the flow, we still have plans to bring the Ink Project back and do it bigger and better. We learned from last year. Last year we had it at Athletic Club. It was out there around the pool in the open. I think it was a beautiful setting. Wish we could have just had like a little covering on the pool so you could like
walk on it. Yeah, I remember that conversation happening.
Yeah. But yeah. I mean, once COVID decides to build itself, definitely going to be coming back with some more Ink Project features. I'm looking forward to it. I know everyone else is out there looking forward to it. So, truly.
Well, Mr. James, thank you for coming on the sidewalk.
James.
Okay then, Fred.
Yeah.
Fred, thanks for coming through on the sidewalk.
Finally.
You make it sound so you may have a sidewalk Saturdays. And all then Sunday.
But
maybe bring back another sidewalk Saturday soon. Just go.
But we now reach.
Well, you finally reached for sidewalk conversations. Finally. But sidewalk Saturday better, yeah. And when I hear you say nothing about COVID lockdown. Me, you, and Aziz potentially supposed to work on that project day.
Oi.
What had happened was...
No, it's not that. It's you guys. It's you guys. I'm throwing the blame off of me because I'm ready. I have the ideas. I know how I want. I see you doing all these things. Oh, don't even act like that. Because when I came to your workplace, did we talk about it?
Yeah, but when I get back to you, what Aziz, I told Aziz, right? But what happened when I delivered the message back to you?
What?
Cause I think you had a phone call. I say Aziz now had a mic for pin on like that.
Oh, okay.
When I tell you?
No.
Oh well, no, me tell you.
Okay, well, no.
Right, no, I know. So I will find out if I work on that. I work on that next project, did you?
Yeah. That I like it.
Yeah. But differently. Thanks for coming through.
Always.
People, this ends another episode of Sidewalk Conversations. Thank you for tuning in and staying with us this long. And we'll bring you another episode next week. I'm your favorite Rasta, and we out.